Hello traders, it's Samurai Trader here. Welcome to session 99, how to day trade any market, the $1,000 a day challenge. And as always, what I teach you in these sessions you can apply to any futures markets, forex market, or the stock markets. $1,000 a day not enough, and it's usually not for the young guns. You can simply increase your position size, add more contracts. Now I do need to pull up the disclaimer. We know there is a risk in trading. Don't trade with money that you can't afford to lose. Traders, if you haven't already requested my ebook, The Truth About Day Trading, please click on the description link below to download that. Make sure you also subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with all of my latest videos. Better still, become a member. Let me just give you a 30-second plug for my program here, because what I'm about to show you today will just show you the true potential of day trading. And I'm going to be showing you how to trade YM, the Russell or the Dow, or even the NQ. But today I'm going to be showing you a number of trades executed on the Russell, which is the RTY. So what I teach you here you can gain in my full course, $197. Make no mistake traders, it is a $10,000 program. It's the last program you'll ever need, and it includes all of my indicators that you see. And even better still, you can also attend 8 of my live and recorded coaching sessions. So I've got a couple of hundred traders each session log in Tuesdays and Wednesday evening, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you can't attend, you can watch the recordings after month 1. Drop me an email if you wish to continue with those at $97 a month. It's $297 on my website. So all of that's included for $197 a month. Sorry, $197 once only. I should get that across. It is once only for lifetime access, unless you wish to continue with the coaching, but that's something you can drop me an email on. Okay, let's now get into this, traders. This is a game changer, and I know I bring this up every month, and the reason being, once you create a compelling future, okay, magical things start to happen. Now I know that most traders don't want to hear this, and they wonder why they never make it in our industry. But wait till I show you today. I'm going to give you some really and show you some really unique stuff on how to day trade. But here you only need $100 a day. That's all you need to get extremely wealthy in this business. Traders have it upside down. They want to go and make $1,000 per contract. Is that possible? Yes, it is, once you're experienced. However, as you get older, I'm in my 60s, I'm after lifestyle. I day trade for the money, but then I want to live and use that money. Okay, I want lifestyle. That's what day trading is. The young guns, I know you want your Ferraris and whatever in the fast cars you can get there. However, you've got to do it one step at a time. Once you $100 a day, you can then step it up depending on the market and depending on your risk management, your money management, which we're going to briefly cover. Now, as I mentioned in today's session, we're going to be focusing on the RTY and the YM, particularly the trades executed actually are on the Russell, but you can apply it also to the 6A. That is, these are markets that are $5 per tick. You've got the Russell, the Dow, the 6A, which is the currency futures market, and of course you've got the NQ, which is $20 a point but $5 per tick. Now, if you don't have the funds initially required to trade these big contracts, you can trade the micros, which are only 10% of the value, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, here in today's session, I'm going to be going through and showing you on the charts 5 trades I took for 4 winners and 1 break even. So I'm going to explain these in detail. So I want to be quick in the intro, because I also want to cross to where price action is ticking over right now and just show you a couple of these trades that I've got just here, how they repeat every day. These are patterns we see in, day out. Now I should mention for members watching this was a T12 with a T19. It was just a T3. There's our divergence. It's very simply a slingshot trade with a T20-1. That was a T3, little bit of divergence off the high of day. We've got here another slingshot 21B down to the 200, another T12. That was all over and done with within 20 minutes. So that was $176 per car, which means contract. Now I'm going to be showing you 100, 150 and $200 a day, how you make money and how you build true wealth. Forget the 500 to 2,000 a day or whatever it is per contract for now. Okay, so get the small gains, get the small wins. You're building both your confidence and your competence. More on this when we get to the charts. But anyway, very, very important. Step one in mastering the art of day trading: winning traders are willing to do the things that losing traders are not willing to do. And so what we've got to do is create that what we call compelling future, which is also about gaining clarity. Now clarity is knowing exactly what you want. That is setting targets, setting goals, etc. Now when we look at the market, the first thing in gaining clarity when it comes to trading is which markets are we considering trading and what size accounts do we really need. The honest way, that is, yes, there's so much crap on the internet that for day trading margins you can trade these markets with $1,000, etc., etc. Can you? Yes, you can. However, you're risking 5 to 10% per trade. Let me show you how to do it correctly. So first of all, the average sort of turnover, and this is important, do we have volume? Here on the YM it's less than the Russell. Okay, so average here is sorry, but got a bit of a raspy throat here, just had some water, hopefully that's better, is around 120 to 150,000 contracts a day. We can see the ES, typically your average day is actually 1.5 million. The RTY is typically around 170 180,000. So we've got stacks of volume. Now on the micro, we can see here on the micro Russell 58,000, and on the micro YM we are around 83,000 contracts, plenty of volume. So let's talk about realistic targets. Okay, let's create the compelling future, and yes, we then need to know how to get there, where I'm going to be showing you today how you do this. But people with goals succeed because they know where they're going, but also with goals that are a stretch but can be achieved. So first of all, let's start at the low end. Say if you don't have the funds required to start trading the big contract, because here's how much you really need, and this is what most brokers and some great brokers like Ninja Trader, they'll tell you the truth when it comes to trading, how much you really need. And yes, there is the there is the day trading margin. However, if you're risking here, typically you're going to be risking, with what I'm going to be showing you today, between $40 and $50 per trade. We never risk any more than 2%. If we risk no more than 2%, traders, and my typical stop loss on a 2-tick Renko, and I should say here, it doesn't matter whether you trade time-based charts, tick charts, the same setups work on any type of chart. I find that for traders first learning how to trade, or for those that have been struggling, you can't beat Renko. But typically you need a 10 tick stop loss, which is $2,500 is what you really need in your account. Now if you don't have that initially, that's fine. You start off with the micro. Now I've rounded that up to $300, and here if you go for just $15 a day using the exact same setups, except they're on the micro contract, within 11 weeks you've got the potential there of having your $2,700 there. Then you can roll over and start trading the big contract. Okay, so in 11 weeks averaging $15 a day net of commissions and losses, of course, you've got your 2,500. Now from there, and of course here I've got here, if you go for $20 a day, you've done that in 8 weeks. Okay, look, hit your 15, then go for your 20. And by the way, that's the equivalent of 150 day on the big contract, or 200. I don't want to make this too complicated, but let's get to this first of all. If you go for only $100 a day, that's 20 ticks a day. Within 19 weeks, you've got the true potential of earning your $10,000 a week after losses. Your account has gone from 2.5, it's now at 61,000 in 19 weeks. That means financial freedom for life. Now stay with me, because I'm going to show you how to do this. Wait till you see a couple of unique things. You're going to go, hopefully, if you don't go, well, I probably can't help you. Okay, but here, 20 ticks a day. Look where you are in 19 weeks. Time is going to pass anyway. Now that's only 20 ticks. Now we bump that up to 150 a day. Okay, look where you are in 12 weeks. 50 grand in your account, you're earning your 12,000 a week. And I do have to say potentially, and just one more here, $200 a day for the full-time traders. Okay, that's if you're going to be trading at least 2 hours a day. Now typically, as most of you know, if you watch my videos, you'll usually see I'm well and truly wrapped up within 1 hour. I do have to say that's not the true picture, because I do spend an hour in prep time. Okay, that is reviewing my charts, just going over what's been happening, etc. Now what it comes down to is now the how. So here, if you're trading the RTY, the YM, or even, look, actually I'm not going to include the NQ here. You could include the Aussie dollar for currency futures, because the 2 tick Renko is not tradable, it's too fast, okay, on the NQ. But if you stick with the Russell, the Dow, in 19 weeks, you can see there, financial freedom for life. How do we do that? All you need, traders, up here is 6-step scalps. That is 4 scalps a day, or step it up to an 8-step scalp, 3 net trades a day. Hang on, I'm going to show you what those are and how to achieve those. You go for your larger moves, you're out. Now traders, most of you are aware I'm a scalper. I'm in and out. What that means is it lowers the risk, and also for psychological pressure, in and out, get the cash register in. That suits me. But if you like to go for larger targets, and you can do that in the direction of your higher time frame, you can get there a lot quicker. Now we go and step this up to 30 ticks a day. Now in the one today, I'll show you that what was it, 170 plus net in 20 minutes. Okay, here you only need on average 3.5 to 4 trades a day. And wait till you see what I'm going to show you here. There were 5 trades to exceed this target in 12 weeks. Okay, trading 18 contracts. This is where you are. Now I'm also going to say this, that 18 to 20 contracts is the maximum you could be trading early evening. That is, the market closes at 5%, at 5 p.m. Central and opens up again at 6. So can I take that back? I'm getting my Eastern Standard. I'm down under in Australia, and sometimes it gets confusing. The market is closed, okay, from 4 p.m. Central Standard Time to 5 p.m. Central, and it reopens which is 6 p.m. Eastern. Now I've got it right. The first 4 or 5 hours, yes, you could trade your 18 contracts, but you're going to get slippage. Okay, the after hours market, I love it because it's that much slower and tradable. Like you'll see here, I love trading the London Open and before then, which is around midnight Central Standard Time to 2 a.m. That suits my hours. That's around 4 to 6 p.m. my time, and so that's great. Now this is a market, and using these time frames where you can trade maybe a little bit higher than New York session, particularly in the afternoon, what we call the New York close. There's some fantastic trading opportunities. But one more here, I want to show you, going for your 40 ticks a day net, which is $200 a day. Look where you are in 8 weeks. So the guns that want to put the work and effort in, this is the true potential of this market. Now as we get to the charts, here's what we need to consider. These are what I call non-negotiables, and you'll see how they work when we get to the charts in a moment. We need to consider, where are our pivot levels? Okay, you'll see what they are now, and actually in fact with all of these now we have indicators that plot every one of these levels, so there's no guessing where's the pivot. Well, of course 200 and your EMAs have been around for years, but even with your intraday swing highs and lows, there's swing indicators, they plot automatically, so we know when we're hitting these levels. So we buy and sell into these levels and off. Once you spend an hour learning what each one is, it's not rocket science. It truly isn't. It's about following your rules-based strategies. Now here's what we're going to do, traders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly what I'm looking for here. Now this is 1:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. Now if I go back here, you'll see here, look, there's just tons of trading up. Look at these waves. So it's no good telling me that okay, well this is just the best time. Well, if you look at this here, leading into the market, this is how you make your fortune in our business, traders. Trading the waves, looking for your super scalper entries, looking for your multiple EMA bounces. This is truly how we do it. And the best thing is, it's not rocket science. It's about learning how to recognize when we're selling or buying into these levels. Now let me get to these trades here. So first of all, okay, we rally up, down we come. For members watching this is just a plain vanilla T12 off the anchor chart 200, and we've even got some divergence, which makes it a T19, and it just qualified as a T3. Now for the public watching this, perhaps may not be a trader or may not be experienced in trading, see these two levels just here? Well, you may not remember, but let me just bring this up again. Pivot levels, prior open, high, low and close levels, the current day's open, high and low, your major EMAs are all support resistance levels. Whoops, did I just close that? Just minimized it. Sorry, I'm just going to pull that up because we'll need to probably refer to that again. Just minimize that. Look what we're bouncing off. We're bouncing off yesterday's close, the current day's open and a major EMA. Over here you're bouncing off the high of the current day. These are predictive levels, and the reason they work so well is that professional traders, we trade into these levels and we trade off these levels. They are predictive. So here I entered this trade. Where's my stop go? 1 tick below. Now I'm long 10 contracts. Now to trade this normally, to do it the way, if you're trading the way I recommend you trade, that would be $25,000. But as you could see, that is in your account. But remember what I just showed you back on that PowerPoint. Okay, you start off with your 2,500 or you couple of hundred, say 300 on your micro. Within 11 weeks you can roll over and start doing this. No doubt, sorry, let me put my teeth back in. No doubt traders are switching off because they're thinking, oh, 25 grand. But you know, traders, there are old traders, there are bold traders, but there are no old bold traders. This is a business, and so you want to be an old trader. You want to stay in this for years by learning how to trade this correctly. So I'm long on this trade. By the way, for members watching, you can see there's a T10, by the way. Okay, I'm then out at the 200. Thank you very much. Trade one. Where's my next trade? Well, here I'm about to get a breakout. When I get a breakout here, I trade what I call breakout pullbacks. And why is this going to be a breakout? Because I'm breaking above a major EMA. And here is my retracement. Where's my super scalper? So here's my next entry. For members watching it, just a plain vanilla T2 slingshot T20-1. Why is that a T20? There's your T20, there's your first pullback. Okay, just a plain vanilla entry. Now let me point this out as a trading tip. As we're coming up to the day's high, these become targets. Now I really should have gone for a larger target here, but I didn't. Why? Because we love to go and retest the high. Now you can front run. See over here how we missed the high by a tick, okay, by $5. So I really should have gone in, and I know I got out just here, okay, and I've got a set target I go for normally, but where I will extend that target when I'm buying or selling into major support resistance areas. So up here I then get I actually was a T19 as well. For members watching this, I had a wee bit of divergence. It was a beautiful T3 and a pivot bounce. Now bouncing off the pivot, now the day's high is not technically a pivot, nor is the open high. Okay, the current day's open, but they behave like pivots. They act as support resistance levels. Okay, so you'll hear me my videos calling them PBs, pivot bounces. Why? Because they behave just like those. Okay, so then I enter the trade. Thank you very much. Out at the 89, very good. Okay, now my next trade, what am I now looking for? Guess what? I'm looking for a retracement. Look at my long-term stochastic. Wait till I show you something in a minute how to even better identify these trades. Now for members watching this, I'm going to show you the MBB and the overlay chart. Now please remember, in the members area there are training videos and PowerPoints on these. Okay, I always get a heap of emails. Oh, is this something new? No, you'll find them in the members area. Okay, so remember to log in. So we've now made a new lower low. I'm looking for a pullback, and right here I've got an entry. In fact, I was in here very late. Okay, I should have been in way up here. I got in here, and if I remember, and this is a classic T2 T10 down to the anchor chart 200 again, and I got out here at break even. Okay, so unfortunately that was not a fantastic trade for me. Was that 4 or was that 5? Oh no, there's 4. There's, sorry, and then I had exactly the same over here repeat just here. Now remember before I said to you, okay, and so what that was 5 trades, 4 wins, 1 break even. Now break even means my entry price plus I cover the commissions. Okay, so that was mighty fine. I want to show you this. Let me pause the video, because these T12s kick butt just about every day. Let me pause it. I'm going to drag over. Actually, we can do it just from here. Let me just drag this over from here, the RCY on another window. Let me just do this. Now, even though you can see it's Sunday, by the way, May the 12th, this is the so the market opens, by the way, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so if you're home on a Sunday evening, so this is 9:42 p.m. Central Standard Time. I run my clock on Central Standard Time, just so you know. But look at this just here. Remember those T12s I was telling you about? This is the market opened. Here's your T12. Here's your T12. Here's your T12. Okay, and this is where the market is now. Now in another 3 hours, this market will really pick up as we head towards the London Open. Now with this also, traders, if I was to bring up the NQ. If you were trading the NQ, this you would have had probably 20 valid trades by now. But traders love, a lot of traders like the slower market. Now what I do want to show you here, so that was a great trading session, all over and done with, and every one of these setups are patterns. So there's no, do I have a trend line crossed, where do I enter? Look, you can see the super scalper entries. I've got the super scalper. Sometimes I'm a bit slow for whatever reason, okay, whether I'm doing other things, usually it is. But let me show you something here. I just want to show you this. So what this chart is, this is and let me just see, is that, yeah, so this is what I call the let me find the right spot here. I just want to show you those same trades. Yep, just one moment, I'm going to pause and find the same. So here we go. This is what I want to show you, which is just, if you're an experienced trader, I want you to look at this and think about this very carefully. Okay, what I'm using here is a custom BB here. Okay, you can see over here I've got my traditional 200 Bs. I want you to notice my custom hull moving average. I want you to notice my custom BB. What's the direction of both of those? They're in an uptrend. Okay, guess where we want to scalp and trade? In the direction of the uptrend. Remember, we only need 40 of these a day, and actually I didn't tell you about this, but each one of these Renko, these are called Renko bricks, actually I just call them candles. Each step is $5 per contract. Now in the busy New York session, you might have to jump up to a 3-1 or maybe a 4-2, just for experienced traders. The 2-1 is not usually tradable in the morning. You might get away with the 3-1. So what that means to the newer traders watching this, you need to increase your time frame, because in the end you want a chart that's not going like this. Got to slow your chart time frame down. As I just showed you, the time frame we just had now, okay, is barely ticking away. All right, it puts you to sleep right now. But if you're patient, there's just been some beautiful trades. Okay, this is live, it's just ticking away very slowly. And that's why this time of day you maybe, or on a Sunday, you jump down to the NQ 4 tick and you'll it's fantastic. But look at your or my custom MACD BB, my hull. Now we start to roll over. Look at my BB has rolled over, my long-term stochastic. What's this now? I've made a double top here, slightly lower high, and look at my super scalpers in the direction of those two indicators. I come down, okay, I've got a little trade just there. Oh, that's it, just a plain vanilla. I then get a bounce here, and I want you to notice my hull in an uptrend. Oh, it turned black there, but look here. Look at my MACD BB is in an uptrend. Look at that just there. Both of them confirm the trade. Look at this here. We've now rolled over. We're now in a downtrend. Both confirm the trade. That is the hull and the BB. And down we go, and we go back up again. Now this doesn't replot, by the way. This, as you can see, this is where they actually turn, by the way. So I know there's some indicators out there. Now just here you had an entry there. If I was still trade, well, I was already in that one, but I could have had an entry there. I could have had one here. So you can just go on and on. Now here, what do we do here? I won't go into the sideways price action, but here we're sideways and now we kick back up. Okay, and just there for members watching, yes, that's only a 30, but they're 34B, but there's your 2B. Thank you very much. And also the scalping overlay chart. Now this is where, if you like the overlay chart, you down here you can overlay on an overlay chart what's happening on your anchor chart 1. So you can see here I've got an overlay chart with multicolored, or actually the same colored, sorry, EMAs pointing out the move. And so here we're following in the direction of the indicators on the anchor chart 1 with all the information I need, except for one thing: when the candle closes. So for members watching this, I will still have an anchor chart 1 on display on a separate window, because I like to know when the anchor chart 1 candle closes, and using the bar status indicator. Oh, by the way, traders, over here, see that just there? Look what's happening on my anchor chart 1. I've got a major EMA bounce. Let's just go back here. What have I got just happening here? I've got a major EMA bounce. I've discovered this formula that I use, and I've never seen it anywhere else, that where I'm using, yes, people say, oh, you trade a time frame 3 times higher, or 8 times, or 10 times higher, but I've got this pretty much perfect formula that I use where I get multi EMA bounces on multiple time frames, and it just kicks butt, as you'll see time and time again. Now, I'm going to also say this: it's not the holy grail, but if you believe and trade in probabilities, what I mean by that, there are no certainties but probabilities on our side. That is, I say it another way: trade like a casino. That is, we take every hand that qualifies, or every setup that qualifies. Look at this here, when I get the hook there. All the trades in the direction here are all winners. They're all scalps. Now, I know this is only $5 a tick, but all you need is 40 of those a day. You're extremely wealthy from day trading. Now, why doesn't everyone make it? Because they're not willing to learn the patterns, and they're pretty much mechanical. Where they're not mechanical, okay, is around news. For an example, do I have a meaningful trend? It's about learning what a trend is, but none of this is rocket science. But what you got to find is, and actually I should say this, that trading truly is, traders, 90% psychology. It's 5% money management, then 5% your setups. Now, if we now just go back to this here, now remember, this is the current market where we are right now. Okay, now for traders watching this, look at that massive divergence you had on your MACD BB and on my platinum MACD BB. If that chart is too busy, you then use just a plain chart like this one. So traders, look, I'll finish up. We're already due, it's 32 minutes. So traders, you can see here there's an incredible opportunity to learn how to day trade the right way. Where will you be in 6 months time? Start off with your micro. Even if you got $5,000 or $10,000, traders, start off on a micro, make all the mistakes you're going to make, okay, and do it the right way the first time. So traders, come and join my program. So go to my website or click on the description link below. Now on my website, by the way, it's $297 to join, and it doesn't include, or maybe it does, I can't remember, include as a bonus, but here you can get it for $197, plus it includes a month in the trading set, in the live coaching room. And traders, there's actually now over 38 PowerPoints. You don't have to learn all of my setups, but it's about, and I think it's really important initially, it's about really learning the easy money setups, which are the trend following strategies. So traders, look forward to having you as a member, and look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thank you.